I'm Karthik, and today we'll be painting an old bridge in a dense forest. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe, and then let's start. So let's start. Today I'll be painting on an 18 by 24 inch canvas. So first I'll be applying a white layer of paint. Generally it should be done with a gel white, which is not available right now due to the lockdown. So I'm using white and linseed oil mixed together to make a thin layer of white paint. Taking the gel white, what I call a homemade gel white. Just applying it all over the canvas. Okay, now what I've done is I've taken Prussian blue, sap green and black onto my palette, and I'll be using Prussian blue and sap green right now. I'll be mixing a little bit of Prussian blue and sap green together. I hope you can see it. Yeah, so I need it more on the somewhere in between, more on the greenish side, and just go like Alright, so let's take a dry brush now and just do the same way, blending whatever paint is there with the background. If you feel that there is excess paint and you're getting these brush marks, then you can go back to a paper towel and just wipe your brush for once. And just go sideways. Just remove any possible brush marks. So let's plan for a water somewhere here. Yeah, I'm taking the same color, blue mixed with sap green and a little bit of black as well, a little darker shade. So let's have our water coming from here. Okay, just go sideways, don't take any much paint, and go lighter the way when you go forward. I'm going back to a dry brush and just removing the excess paint over here. Okay, so now let's move on to the trees. For this I've taken ivory black and burnt sienna and mixed it together. I didn't show you the mixing, but it's a darker form of brown. I'm dipping my liner brush, which is very thin, so I'm dipping my liner brush into the thinner and making a thin paint out of it so that it flows on the canvas. So just making a point out of it. Alright, let's make it. So let's make a tree here. So if you feel at any point of time the paint is not flowing and you're mixing a lot of the background color, then go back to the paint. You can again dip in the thinner if you want. Let's make one here. Make a little bit of branches from here. Just with the tip of your brush. Let's make some faraway trees here. Just some faraway trees which are barely seen. So let's make one here. Let's go ahead and make one here as well. make a big tree like this one, which is in the front over here. Now let's make the leaves on the trees. So for this I'll be using the same background color, a bit darker. I'm taking blue, and then sap green, and probably a little bit of black as well. I'm using a little bit of white as well. I don't want this to be this dark. I want it to be a little visible. Mix a little bit of white. So now I'm using a 1-inch brush, right? And just tapping on the paint. Just tap, tap, tap. Take it on the bristles. And let's make some here. Just tap on the top of the branches. Move on to the next part. Let's make some bushes over here where you have your water. So since it's a far away, so you need some bushes here. So I'm taking the same color, same amount of paint, but a little darker and little denser. So I'm just taking this and just tapping. Just tapping upwards. So for the border edges, I'm using burnt sienna and brown. Just taking it on my palette knife over here and just giving it a border for the bank. Okay, let's give it a border over here. Let's go back to our 1-inch brush. Take the same color which we used for the branches and grasses. Probably mix a little bit more of green there. Probably some black as well. I need that darker color. Okay. So let's make some grasses over. Yeah, let's make some grass here. Okay. This grass is in the front, so it goes bigger and bigger. It's not a grass, basically it's a bush, to make it a bit more darker. So just making some bushes here. Let's make a tiny bridge out here. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm taking it the same brown over here. Probably a little more darker than the one which is there. I'm mixing more ivory black onto it and just take some paint onto the tip of your palette knife and there you go. So now I'm taking a little bit of yellow ochre the same way. Just tap on the yellow ochre paint. Just flatten it out and tap and give it some kind of shades like here and there. Probably mix it with a little of white so that it highlights. When you go through the videos, I would suggest you to go through the video once completely and then go ahead and paint, so that you can put out your imagination, create a different world for you. it's fun to paint with imagination. So now I'm taking a little bit of titanium white and giving it a little more highlight wherever required. Now let's go back to the rock color, which is the brown over here. So now I'm going back to making some rocks here. So let's make a rock like probably here, probably over here, and it comes this way. Going back to my 1-inch brush and get this bush over here, and probably over here as well, a little bit of bush over here. Cover this area up, so trying to create a background over here. I'm taking the same color, probably making it a little darker. Take a little bit of more blue to it, probably some brown, make it a lot dark. And I'm not sure if you guys can see it. So by this, what I'll be doing is, by making these layers darker and darker and darker, I'm making underpainting for the bushes, the trees, whatever I want to do. I'm mixing a little bit of yellow, ochre and white here on my palette and making this look like it's a border rather than it looking like a part of the bridge. I need some brown here. Take some white. So I've taken sap green and chrome yellow and just mixing it. I don't want the direct sap green because it won't show much. So I'm just mixing it to make a little darker, just tapping over it. Okay. And just giving it these highlights. Just keep going. Don't completely cover it because we need those background colors in between the darker shades, so that actually represents your shadows. So when you take the paint, you have this chrome yellow here. So what you can do is, when you take the paint, take a little bit of chrome yellow as well. So what happens, you'll have a little bit of chrome yellow on the top, and when you do this, your top will be getting highlighted more than the bottom. So you have your ground over here and you have the next layer here. So you just have to keep tapping this color. So when you're giving this yellow, what happens is, so now if I want to give a layer here, so I'll give a yellow layer so that it will not look like it's blending on top of the background. So it will look like a layer. Okay. Let me put a little bit of highlight on top here. Let's do the same over here and then we will go forward. So now what I can do is take this dark shade of this, and not much, I'm just tapping my brush so that it gets flattened out, and Just giving a little bit of greenery on top of this. That should do it. Probably a little bit here as well. Just a little highlight. A little bit of moss might get developed over here. Let's make this. I'm using the same green. Let's move on to a lighter shade. I'm taking the same color but mixing more of yellow to it. Probably some yellow ochre as well. So now let's do these trees here. So for this I'm using the same color but more of chrome yellow. Probably let's mix some yellow ochre as well. I don't mind taking some white to mellow it down. That's my color. Okay, let's do this. Leave some dark spots as well, don't fill everything up. Taking more cadmium yellow and just going upwards over here. Taking the same color and doing the same thing over here. Let's go back to our dark brush and let's make this right now here. I'm taking a little bit of yellow ochre and white on the same brush and giving it a little muddy texture here at the borders. Now I'm taking a number 6 fan brush and I'm loading it with a little bit of white and taking the same color mixed with a lot of cadmium yellow. Now we are going to do some bit of moss on this rocky. I think we'll put some brown before that. Bit of brown here and there will make it look really good. Here as well. And let's make some moss, or what can you call a little green patch which eventually gets developed. Just load your brush with a lot of paint. Probably it might not show, so just thin the paint a little and just tap. Take a paper towel and just keep it aside. Keep next to you and just before taking the paint here, just wipe your brush on top so that whatever paint you collect over here is just gone away before mixing it with taking a fresh layer of paint. Let's make some here as well. I think this area looks a lot left out, so I'm taking the same paint what I mixed here. Let's make the water, for which I'm taking titanium white, so loading my number 6 fan brush with titanium white. So let's start here. Don't completely go like this, just thin lines wherever your edges are. Slide slowly and let the brush do the work. And let's make it like, here, and your paint just goes down. Probably there's a rock there with the water just falling over that. This is the border, right? So let's make some effect here. You have this water jumping up a little here, so just pull it up and again. I'm taking one more dry fan brush and just softening it out. Still have our liner brush. Probably I'll make something here. Wipe a little bit out. Okay, so we are at the end right now, and what we'll be doing is probably drop a big tree over here so that we can cover the background over here. I don't think this part looks really well other than this one. I'm taking the fan brush and using my dark color, which has burnt sienna and ivory black. So probably we'll drop a tree here. I'm keeping my brush in a cross direction to make a tree. I think I could use some other brush, but that's okay. Yeah. Now going back to my liner brush, I'm taking that same darker shade, taking a bit of thinner and mixing the darker shade. Just yes, over here. I'm just making it a little bit thicker. You can make one over here. Yeah. Now going back to this color, taking a little bit of yellow as well. Yeah. So let's do this. Just tap over a bit. Let's give it a little bit of dark shade here, and then let's go ahead. Okay, so moving back to my lighter shade here, a little bit of taps here and there, and now what I want to do is just take this darker shade, whatever you have, probably black, brown, and just give it some branches here and there. Let's do the same for this. My darker shade on my palette knife, and just tap with the darker shade. You don't have to do much. So we're done with the painting. Hope this video was helpful for you. If yes, please make sure you like, share and subscribe, and also hit the bell icon to get notifications on a new video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.